A great faction with some very powerful legendary lords, but boy are they a pain in the tail to get. Welcome to Elven Plot Armor. Today we are going to go through the very first Warhammer 3 guide on the story mode with the Katarin of Kislev, and we're going to go through how to get all their legendary lords in the quickest way possible, which will also set you up with some perfect starting turns to make your campaign on any difficulty a blitz, but we've also got you covered here on legendary. So the easiest way to explain this is to actually show on a finished product what this will look like. So I've done a zoomed in picture here to show you what the master plan is, and there's timestamps if you want to skip through this, but this will really help you understand the key mechanics as to why we are doing what we're doing here. So of course we start in humble Kislev here, and Katarin starts at war with a civil faction here. So you take a hit to your supporters, we'll get to that, every time you have a military action with another Kislevite faction. So you need to end this civil war as soon as possible. So we're going to do a loop around here, consolidate Eastern Oblast, and then get Prague. Prague, as well as our capital of Kislev, and Erengrad are the three cities we need to hold for 10 turns to unlock our third and final hidden legendary lord, the King Boris. So while the first two look easy, this other one looks a bit difficult, right? Well, not really. We start with friendly terms with the Druhzina Enclave, and that will allow us to obtain this through Confederation. But that Confederation can be a bit dicey, so I've got a few tricks to pull to be able to land that one as soon as possible. Would you believe that is the least of your worries? Click up here to bring up the Motherland mechanic, and this allows us to spend our devotion, which we get through fighting and a few other things to get more supporters, but more importantly we get it through buildings. We are going to build churches everywhere, but the good thing is this gives us Patriachs, which are exceptionally useful in this campaign. So to break this down, step 1, we're going to consolidate our early territory as well as Prague, start smashing out churches to get supporters, meanwhile pull some diplomatic maneuvers to get our Confederation with the Enclave here, and then finally land our 600 supporter to get the Orthodoxy Confederated here, and that will land you most of this here. And also I've got a trick to get you an extra gold mine. Stay tuned. We start at humble Kislev here. She starts with the civil war, and we need to put that down as soon as possible to be able to unlock Castalton as a confederation. So you can't do it any other way. You have to get to 600 supporters. But that's alright, but there's no point working on this until we get rid of this civil war. Next up, diplomacy, and most important, this is where you need to be really careful, okay? So we need to get all the trade we can. Do not, under any circumstances, sign anything with Ostland. We are going to declare war on them and just take their gold mine. It's going to help us out, but they are the only empire faction we're going to declare war on, right? The other thing is that they border our friend here, so it's going to put more heat on them. We're going to have an enemy in common. It's going to work for us to try and get that confederation even quicker. For construction, we are going to knock down our barracks, as is usually the first turn move. We want to get as many church-based buildings as possible because, as you see, this gives us supporters. And also we need money, so we'll go for the stall. And of course we need to fight our very first battle. We're going to have our archers in the back, gunners up the front here, and these corsairs also do a fantastic job in melee, so let's go up and troll them a bit with our cavalry. Now, Sheet of Ice is actually a really underrated spell for Katarin and any Ice Mage at that. It works really well with the fact you're going to have majority gunners and archers in this army, so anything you can do to slow their advance and keep them in this mid-range, because Kislev are a mid-range army. Use the maiden that you gain from battle to join your main army, as she'll be quite useful. She has Tempest magic, which will complement the Ice magic of Katarin quite well. Move to the edge of your territory, hire 2 Kossars, and get Route Marcher on Katarin. End turn. Turn 2, march Katarin up with 25% movement left to adopt ambush stance, and even if we don't get this, remember multiple turns in this stance will give us the ambusher trait, which will give us a permanent boost to ambush success and defense. You can choose to cycle your maiden in and out of the army with the research off. Keep in mind it needs to be off, and that will give you a chance to get the student follower, which will boost your research globally. Use the quick deal function to see if you can get any non-aggression or trade deals with the empire factions, making sure you always counter offer first to try and get the most money out of them. Just a reminder, do not initiate any deals with Ostmark, you are going to be declaring war on them. Speaking of which, it's time to start gifting to Druhzina's Enclave. Give her 6 gifts. This will help bolster the relationship because we are aiming for a military alliance as soon as possible. That's it, end turn. Turn 3, and remember you can switch research off at the start of your turn because you're likely to rank your mage up this turn because we are going to take Gerslev. This gives her the chance to gain a 10% research follower. When you deploy, make sure you're close together but absolutely not on top of each other, and use your range because they're Norskins, they have terrible range. You'll be able to easily chip away at them. Just stay out of range of their towers and the settlement should be yours with minimal loss. Loot and occupy, we're going to be using the public order issues as well as the money later on. Now you have a minor settlement. This is what we do with all minor settlements. Focus on the markets for gold and also the churches because that will give you devotion, supporters, as well as patriarchs, and you will want between 3 and 5 of these in every single army. Once you get them on their bear, they're great. Now, while these buildings are key in minor provinces, you should actually try to build them in the major provinces first because, as you can see, they are much cheaper and provide a bigger payoff. So again, centering around the major provinces. Now, heal up, hire another 2 Kossars. And in terms of leveling up Katarin, we're going to now go for firing drills. We need to make these Kossars do as much damage as possible. Get that in 3 stars before we start moving across that magic line because they really will be our workhorses. And for this mage, we're going to get Biting Wind. It's really good. It's basically like a discount Burning Head. Works really, really well. Just check your diplomacy. We can't sign anything yet, but we're getting pretty damn close. Turn number 4, and the first thing we're going to do is see how our relationship is going with these guys. Good. Okay, so we're good to get the military access. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're using the military access, how much he likes that, to offset how much he doesn't like the idea of a defensive alliance. So, see that would normally cost us 2,000. If we add that into factor things in, we're only paying 600. There we go. Cool. Okay, so the good thing is that'll really start ticking up now, and we are all about getting that military alliance. It's very crucial to our strategy here. Always just check these first 2, non-aggression and trade agreements, always worth doing. Okay, next up in our capital, we can upgrade our growth building. Now, we can't quite reach this, that's fine, we're just going to have to shuffle up and move up in encamp stance. And last up, hire 2 more Cossacks. And that's it, end turn. Turn 5, awesome, and they've started constructing an outpost. Good news. Now it's time to take Igerov. Let's go and attack that. And we're doing that on the field. And here we are on the battlefield. We've got our armoured Kossars on the flanks with our archers down the back and having our guns round the front so they can hopefully provide some support fire. Let's start the battle and move up. And again, we're just going to start off by looking where their towers can shoot. Okay, so we're kind of in harm's way no matter what way we cut this one. So we just need to move in and try to either take that down or move behind it. So let's move up and move up quickly. And we'll split ourselves up into 2 forces, cutting off both the choke points. Katarin, keeping an eye on the towers, that can really hurt you. Just try to make sure you kill all their characters for that extra money. And as you can see, we're losing 2 supporters every time that we do a fight against Kislevites, but that's okay because we don't have any supporters to lose. So this is completely fine right now, so cool. No worries, and we're going to loot and occupy again. We just need the money really badly. But having a look at the supporter counter, -2, but we're getting 1 per turn just from buildings, but that's fine. It can't go below 0, so this is completely according to plan, alright? Don't worry about it. We've only got 2 more settlements and then they're cleared, okay? And of course, keep on pumping up those Kossars, alright, because they're doing all of our damage. If you want, you can start increasing your Zars because this will make them better line holders, but also this improves your Ice Guard, which is your late game unit. So not a bad way if you want to start dumping points in there first. Completely up to you. Alright, now here's where we start to get really, really sneaky and clever. So we're going to raise ourselves a 2nd army. And this boy is going to hire 2. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to pass the troops to him next turn. He's going to take Fort Jakova, and we're going to have Katarin continue up and take Volksgrad, and we'll defend this just the old-fashioned way. Let's get hook blades to improve our Kossars, and finally diplomacy. Cool. Turn 6. Okay, we're going to get our brand new Boyar. You're going to take all of your Kossars as well as your Frost Maiden as a bit of magical backup, and she's going to just make her way over to Fort Jakova. Meanwhile, Katarin, keep her in encamp stance just to maintain that replenishment. Next up, we are going to get our Patriarch. Got Discipline, one of my favorites, +2 to melee attack. And we're actually going to raise 2 of these, and it'll send our supply lines into decline. But it'll be worth it. So in 2 turns, they're going to meet up with Katarin, and they're going to get the experience, and they will be her backup, giving her enough force to take that settlement. Turn number 7. So this army will tend to kick around. Sometimes he besieges that, sometimes he besieges that, which is the bigger risk because that's quite badly beat up. Other times he's just going for a good old-fashioned raid, which suits us just well. Our 2 Patriarchs can move this turn, so send them up to Volksgrad. Take Katarin out of encamp stance and have her besiege Volksgrad, and we're just going to besiege it because we do want these guys to get the experience next turn, so just sit tight. This will also give them a bit of attrition because now, quite realistically, sieging actually stops them from getting food in, meaning they do take attrition straight away, which is exactly what we want here. We'll be getting a rebellion here in a couple turns, and that's all part of the plan. Okay, let's take forward Jakova this turn. We're just doing our good old signature double hollow triangle. See my formations video on how to use that, and moving ourselves up. Okay, the tower's got a bit of range. I've actually done way worse in some battles where I've really targeted the fortifications. It's good to get cannons if you can do that to take these things down, but when you're using arrows against the more heavily armored towers, it's just a massive waste of your resources. And we're just using our Boyar to hold the line there and then absolutely blasting the crap out of them while they're all grouped up. And we didn't even need our mage in there, but the reason why we did is in case that secondary army we see there's kicking around here comes and attacks this army, we've got her as some extra backup. Now we are going to loot and occupy because we do want that revolt, and it's going to give us something else to fight and get a bit more money with. So remember, that's how we're affording all of this. We're kind of on a negative, but that's what's going to help us get there, is extra combat revenue. Let's repair the main building, and we'll just let this one just repair in its own time. We also have Clan Moulder coming down from the north here, so we will have to probably defend against him, but once we do, he tends to sort of get a bit distracted by this guy. We just need to hope that he decides to pull his weight and start attacking them. We can build an outpost, and we will do that, and that's super important, okay? This outpost is a non-negotiable. This is super key to the strategy, okay? And never move it. If you remove this, you take a huge diplomatic hit. Just be really careful and gentle around here. Don't touch anything. And when you can, send a war target. So number 8, as expected, we've had a rebellion come, and it's nowhere near the match for this garrison yet, so we'd be able to fight them off. What we'll do is we're going to send the secondary army over to Igerov, and they're going to be able to go and either reinforce that or back up Katarin, depending what the bigger issue at the time is. So we've now got our Patriarchs and they're in walking distance, so let's just send them to Katarin, one and both of them. Cool, and they will help fatten up our army. More importantly, their replenishment is what's going to make them really, really useful later on. So let's do it. Alright, and here we are on the battlefield. Of course, we're going to have a very, very tight battle this time, but we can pull it off. We've got guns at the front and then archers in the gaps at the back. Cool, the towers are going to shoot at us. We're not going to worry about the towers. We need to defeat the ground forces first. Okay, this is good. This is where you want them, in this hallway. Alright, we're done with the rebellions. Let's just occupy this. Now, the next thing we're going to do is demolish this building. We could have done that last turn, I forgot to. And we're going to repair this. So everything here, it either needs to be one of two things. Either we want a church, or a chapel in this case, or the market building line. We've got an Atamens, which is their equivalent of a governor, and they do pretty good. He's got growth and an income buff, so we're going to put him in our major province. Because we're so dependent on the Tsar Guard and the Ice Guard in her army at the moment, let's buff these up because we may as well. The Ice Guard will be where we ultimately end up, but this will get us there. And also replenishment, replenishment, and now we are really talking. These guys are excellent once you can get them on their bear mounts. So we're going to keep our secondary army around just long enough to keep the peace here, and then we can link them up and hopefully drop that supply line down. Over the end turn, the Brotherhood of the Bear, who own these northern provinces here, have asked for a defensive alliance, and we're going to decline that because there's going to be a lot of guys pouring through here, and we don't really want to get involved in there sooner than we have to. We've got our own issues, we need to complete this province, we've got some angry rats here, and we've got to placate a bunch of very narcissistic humans here. Okay, so start of turn 9, what we're going to do is we've got our battalion here to make sure we have enough money to do what we need to do. So in these forests here, you've got 70% ambush success chance. We're going to move him here, put him in ambush stance, and because there's no heroes around, he's not going to get discovered here, and we'll be able to catch this guy next turn. This turn, use our Motherland ability, and we're going to choose this one here, which gives us growth, extra replenishment, but also extra supporters every time a character ranks up. Okay, so let's use this. Now, because we've gone below 100 supporters, this means that a Chaos Army will probably populate somewhere here. Now, this guy's job is to relieve whichever poor settlement gets pinned down by that army. All we're going for is money or churches, and we'll get the devotion we need to build the rest of these churches. Use your Ice Mage, come over here and let's assault some units, and hopefully we get a success there, which will rank her up. Nope, she failed, that's just my luck, but you get that. And also technologies now. One Troll, Country Pathfinder. 5% global campaign movement, yes please. Okay, now Katarin, we're going to move her up towards Prague, but we're going to do it nice and slow so she can get that replenishment. In camp stance, moving up, and we're also going to hire another 2 Kossars for her army. Turn 10, and as expected, he could not see us, so we're safe to proceed, and let's go hunt this guy down. Alright, so we're going to set ourselves up. We're going to use this wall here as a natural border. They do have the high ground, which is the bad thing, but this was the only defensible terrain I could really see. Okay, it would be nice to use a wind spell there. We don't have many winds of magic, and I don't want to waste those. Let's allow these guys to keep shooting. Guys, keep going, keep fighting, don't die. Alright, we're going to take the money, and this, I think this will have counted, yeah, see that did count as fighting Kislevites, so we did take a hit to our devotion there, but we need the money just to, this is to make sure you don't run out of money, so people don't get angry at me for running out of money, alright? That's pretty much all this is. And we will do this one more time. And once again, take the money. I'm going to force march him back here, which will boost the public order, and of course the replenishment on those characters. Go for firing drills, and up here we're going to send Katarin, and I'm just out of his range there, which is kind of what I want, because if we take his capital he'll just start suffering attrition. Check diplomacy, no one wants, oh, we got some trade partners, of course we'll do Sterland. Turn 11, and this minor Kislev faction looks like it's going for my capital, but we all know we can defend that, so let's send him up here. And the idea is, in this province here, chaos will likely spawn because we're under 100 devotion. That's just the way it works. Falls below 100, you might get a chaos attack. This is the relief army. So this is the tricky part here. We need to try to get up here without being seen by this army. He's got 2 agents here, so there's a very, very real chance that we'll get caught, and we'll hop in ambush stance. Either way, he'll either attack us, so he brings the fight to us, meaning we can take him out and then go to Prague, or he won't see us and he'll hopefully travel down here. We can do some building, so let's go to Volksgrad and upgrade that settlement. Turn 12, we have a dilemma. We need the devotion because this will help us build more churches. It looks like we remained undetected, so up we go to Prague, and we'll have to besiege this for a turn. We're just going to check our area for any chaos armies that have popped up. They haven't, but we are going to have a bit more trouble soon than we think. We've got Moulder coming in here, as well as this army here. So what we're going to do is bring our relief force back to the capital. We can upgrade Kislev. Yes. I just realized I forgot to record that. Sorry guys. Basically what I did was I turned around and shot the reinforcements that were coming behind me, deleted them, and then turned around and then fought the first army. Was definitely a tight one, but yeah, it's definitely doable. Okay, we're going to keep on upgrading Zargard and our Ice Guard because that's where we're headed with them. And basically you want this healing spell. This is excellent to have and will be really key for our longevity on the battlefield. So I get that on most of my Patriachs for that reason. Now, would you believe he's allied with Throt the Unclean? So that makes this significantly more difficult to pull off. Alright, here we are. So we've got 3 points we want to try and capture here because each one of them might present us with a tower that we can shoot back at the reinforcing army that we're actually afraid of right there. Cool, well we seized those, and see, we've only got a minute left to try and kill both of these units. It just doesn't happen. Okay, let's get everyone up on the ladders. And what we'll need is we'll need everyone shooting in, because they will come in through the gates, because you see they still own the gates. We haven't actually captured them yet. Let's go for these big blobs here. We're missing out on some good area of effect damage. Oh, that's good stuff, look at that. Slow these guys down, keep them in the arrow fire range for a little bit longer. Oh, thank God, and that is that. And we now are the proud owners of Prague, and I think we'll just occupy it to try and keep it in the best shape as possible. Going to knock that down, and we're going to need to hire as much as we can. And we'll also try to fortify this settlement a little bit more as well. Turn 14. We now control Prague, which is excellent because now all we need to also own is Volksgrad, and we can start our 10 turn countdown to be able to unlock Boris. Now let's have a look at our options with these guys. So we're still a way off getting the military alliance we need, but here are some of the new diplomatic tools that come with Warhammer 3. So, well, we can select a target. That's nothing new, but this will help build rapport. So let's just send them towards the Hellpit capital. But more importantly, we can get allied missions. We need to get this allegiance up probably somewhere around 70. We get 2 per turn passively, but basically finishing these missions will give us far more. So let's first of all go for this guy. He's pretty close. He's pretty close by. So let's just go for him. Let's just try to discover where our target is. There he is. That's a whole bunch of crap, but we need more of our crap to beat his crap. So I think I'm going to... yeah, we'll do that this turn. We still have our edict up, which will give us more supporters if we conduct an agent action and level up, so let's give that a go. And whenever we can, we need to build more churches. The more the better, so just keep going down that route. Okay, turn 15, and our plan is, whilst we do want to destroy this guy, he's got a very weak army. So even our minor garrisons around here will be able to take care of him when you consider the other defensive options we have available. So we're actually going to ignore him because he's just going to run away if we chase him, right? So what we want is to run these troops up to Prague, basically collapse our unnecessary armies as quickly as possible. So we're going to force march him as far as he'll go. But we'll sit Katarin just in front of him. Now this ambush isn't going to work. But yeah, the idea is he's probably going to run away because this will fail. This hero is right here. But if he does come in there and feeds himself to them, this makes our job even easier. And we get improved relations even quicker. Local recruitment +1, very important. Turn 16 and he ran away. So that's actually fine. He's taking attrition and he's walked into our allies' grounds. Hopefully they take care of him. Let's merge the armies. So reinforce with him and attack with Katarin. This is because our devotion went below 100 and you will get these random stacks. Low level Norskins, not too difficult. We can now start focusing on devotion when we win battles. Oh good, we get a second fight out of this guy. That's awesome. And also when you attack Chaos, it is also very, very beloved. We've managed to level up a lot of characters, and keep in mind our invocation here will give us more. We are very quickly overtaking the Orthodoxy here in terms of supporters. There's nothing we can really use as anything remotely passable, but we want to get there in a couple of turns. So let's just move as far as she'll go at her 40%, and we're going to put her in ambush stance. She's hopefully far enough away from anyone to not get caught. And we're going to put our boy here, of course, in force march in the hope that he doesn't get detected and they decide to rush him, which will make our conquest even easier. Going for civil administration, we can upgrade Prague, which you should of course always do, and upgrade all your minor settlements. Now because we're in a strong position and can pretty much defend any of these defensively, it's now time to pull our masterful diplomatic move. First we're going to confederate Ungol kindred, and this will allow us to first, let's make them pay for a defensive alliance, and then confederate them. Now, whilst we don't really intend to use these guys for this, now we're going to gift the provinces we just acquired to Druhzina, so Fort Stragov, and we're going to do this in exchange for a military alliance and a little bit of extra gold. Cool. Now, with this military alliance signed, we're going to give ourselves a bit of a head start. Over here in Ostland, these guys have a gold mine, so we don't really want to upset the boat here by attacking the Empire directly, so we're going to force these guys to do it. So let's find Ostland here, and let's declare war on them. This is the only Empire faction I recommend doing this with. and they will come. Don't leave this too late. You leave this too late, they'll get tight and they'll refuse to go to war with you. Okay, I'm just warning you there. You want to do this easily before turn 20, preferably between not too long after turn 15. Just make sure you can defend these southern borders if this goes a bit pear-shaped, because these guys will be a bit upset with you as a result. And I'm willing to buy some military access to make up for this. I probably should have done this first. And you know what, let's just give these guys a gift to stop this from going negative. We don't want these guys to declare war. This is going to be a friendly border for us for the rest of this entire campaign. Just a quick deal and we can deal with the dwarves. We definitely want to get trade with the dwarves. We want these guys to now mind our eastern frontier. So the idea is you want the empire to guard your south, the dwarves to guard the east, and this allows you to expand to the west and a little bit to the north. Okay, so we got attacked over the end turn. Our main goal here is to eliminate all of the characters. I want to make sure we kill these guys. Use your ice spells to slow them down so they can't get away. Turn 18, I forgot to do this last turn. We can upgrade this this outpost here, and we do want to do that, but what we're also going to do is change our military target, because I've basically got the rats cornered. I know we're going to handle them, but what we want is to get these guys to take Ostland. We confederate them, we'll get their juicy gold mine. Looking down here, Throt's after us, but we can actually spend one turn besieging this and capture his capital before he'll even get to us. So that's 100% what we plan to do, so let's get there. We're gonna have to build a battering ram over the next turn, but he won't get to stop us in time, although it's going to be a pretty damn painful battle, not gonna lie. I'll actually get him to hold on to any of the injured units, and this way he can actually get their replenishment back up to full, or give him a few more extra men. Turn 19, let's put our troops back with Katarin, and we are besieging this, and this is going to be one hell of a battle, and it's going to clean us out really badly. Let's just see if we can't confederate these guys. No way, not going to happen for a while, and we're doing it on the field. Okay, here we are on the battlefield. I tried this, and I managed to find on those runs, there is a weakness here where the towers don't have a very wide line of sight, and it's somewhere around here. I'm not going to reload this, and we're just going to deal with it. Cool, okay, this is exactly what we wanted, okay? See this? No tower can hit us yet. So now what we do is, in my previous test, this is what we do. We move up with 2 units at a time. They will have a caster here usually, and it's the warp line that really wrecks you. So this is all we're doing. We're just going to unload loose all our arrows and just try to shatter whatever we can, piece by piece. Alright, these guys have run out of ammo. We're going to bring them back, and they are now part of our melee division. And we'll bring up 2 more. Alright, so what you do is you kind of wait for the warp lightning. You give it a bit for it to recharge. And then when you're ready, this guy isn't firing. If you have him firing, he will get hit. We're just waiting for him to cast it, and he will. And just move forward when you see them about to cast it. Alright, we've got another guy out of ammo. Let's sub him out for someone who does have ammo. Just chipping away, and trying to bait out these catapult shots when they do come, using our infantry. They won't follow you single entities anymore. You'll have to use your infantry and take some losses, but it's worth it. Don't get up on the walls while they still have ammo. It's not going to end well for you. So there's this house here we can sort of hide behind, if we can make it. Go on. Right, now we've got this point where we've exhausted basically all their catapult ammo. We can just bring them up one by one, shoot inside, just try to thin their numbers out, and then we'll go into melee and use magic. Just make sure you avoid these Hellpit abominations, because they will regenerate. Obviously a big waste of your ammo. We'll deal with them when we get in and we start using melee. Alright, we need to focus them down one at a time. Now these things regenerate, so you have to put a lot of hurt on them. Make sure we keep these heals going. That's why these heals are so important on these guys. Just keep our characters alive, because they're the ones really doing the damage here. There we go guys, we did it. It's all downhill from here, that's the good news. And we're going to loot and occupy just because we need the money really badly. Now, getting 3 points in replenish and 2 points in that is your first step, but after that, get everything you can to increase their melee defense, because these guys will be riding bears and tearing everything up. And we have Katarin up to level 12, so we can get her main skill line, which is a massive reduction to our spells, and then Khan Queen, which will give us more devotion per turn and extra diplomatic relations with Kislev. We can't build regular Kossars because we damaged the main building, but instead we'll get an armored Kossar, because don't get the speared variant. Honestly, you're better off getting one of these guys to hold your front line, and then just saving the cost by keeping the regular Kossars at this stage. Actually, we'll get 2 of those. Why not? Let's have some fun. And put your extra Ataman in Prague. We want to level that up, as these are the major 2 settlements that we'll be using for our recruitment and our growth. Turn 20, and he is mobilizing against this settlement. This is great. Hopefully he'll take some losses, or even better, he'll conquer this for us so we can federate him. We get that too, and we're not the ones committing hostilities against the Empire, so it's a win-win for us. Oh, we've got someone besieged. I'm actually a bit nervous about that, so what we'll do is we will raise, we have spare Boyar here, raise some troops and we can send them over there to support. While it would be great to keep on going through here, you've probably already reached the point where you might have had one or multiple diversions in the way I've done this layout, so I'm going to actually end the turn by turn guide here, but I'm going to fast forward to a couple of points in the campaign because I will show you how you land these key confederations. So the first one being Druhzina's Enclave. You will get this opportunity because we've now built ourselves up to have a strong military alliance along with Katarin's skills. Unfortunately, it really is just a waiting game. You can get it before turn 20, other times it might take until around turn 30. It all depends, but all the steps I've given you will give you the highest possible chance. In this particular run, it took till about turn 29. It's just until they lose their army. We were also very unlucky in this run because they didn't take any of Ostland's territory. I've had previous runs where they've taken all of it, meaning you get to inherit all of that territory yourself and don't have to fight any remnants. In this one we did, but the end result of that extra gold mine is worth it. Just make sure you stay peaceful with the rest of the empire and stay super friendly with Ungol on the east side. He's well worth it. If you need to help him out, feel free to fight some battles and just gift the territory to him. You don't need lots of territory in this campaign. The last expansion you will want is going to be the Great Orthodoxy. Speaking of which, you will start getting your churches up to tier 3, which gives 2 supporters each turn. We have been fighting with a bug this entire campaign. I've received no supporters for fighting chaos, which you will get a lot of. Without bugs, I would say easily around turn 40, then finally confederate the Brotherhood at the north and you own all of Kislev. But what about the Red Tsar? Well, once you've confederated Druhzina, you will now hold Erengrad. Combine that with Kislev and Prague, and those 3 settlements, hold those for 10 turns, and you will get the following quest. It's quite easy to fight, just split your force into 2, get Katarin to push ahead and just slowly inch forward with some healing Patriachs on bears. Use your archers to pick the enemy away and you will get Boris, and he is excellent. Get his unique skill tree and it will really help you. But you will find much of the next upcoming turns you will spend defending the Hellpit. It is an excellent fortification and well worth learning how to defend because you will be defending it a lot and then pushing the Norskins away from the other northern border. Whether you choose to enter the rifts, that's completely up to you, but just keep in mind fighting chaos will endear you to the Orthodoxy and fast forward that confederation. I have a live stream showing this exact campaign in the later stages and just how you deal with these multiple fronts, but this Kislev campaign you will never ever have an easy turn of basic decisions because you're getting attacked at all fronts. You got rifts, you got chaos Norska, everything against you, but man, it's a lot of fun. And we're going to wrap things up here, so thanks so much for watching. This is Plot Armor. Feel free to like, subscribe, it really helps us out. Discord details in the description, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.